Hey there, it's Rules of Villainy, episode 89, and I'm Villain Vince, joined by my two co-hosts, Villain Andy and the villainous of all, villainous Kirsten. We don't have Brad today. How we doing? Yes, shorter intro. We're getting right into the meat of the substance. Let's go. Rocking and rolling. How we doing tonight?
I just want to point out this is the second episode in a row that Vince has done a shorter intro. And then
it's getting
shouted,
shorter and shorter too.
and
Last week it was shorter, short. This week's even shorter.
both times he has shouted himself out that he did a short intro and then continued the intro longer in his praise of his short intro. So
leave me alone, all right? Eventually it's gonna be Rules of Villainy episode number.
I'm coaching you. We can shave at least 4 to 5
All
seconds
right.
off by just you get the pat on the back later in the episode.
Here's the you got to know, this is how we do it. This is the banter that occurs every episode. Every episode we do this.
I'm aware.
But yeah, so it's all good. We're all back here. You've come from Kentucky back to home. Wawa, you got the Wawa adventure? You did.
Yeah,
Wawa.
Louisville. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're gonna really love that going to Indianapolis again. And
Heck yeah, I got points now.
Oh, you're in the membership rewards program.
I have
now.
the app.
He's like a triple diamond tier member already. We go to Wawa 3 times a year, basically.
Well, you're gonna go more. Well, I guess maybe no. You'll already beat that because Wawa was in Richmond. We've got 2 times you're going to Indianapolis because of the DLC and Gen Con, and now you've already gone to Through the Decades, which we're going to talk about here a lot today. So let's get right into it. So we'll get into our Underworld news segment. I think probably by far the biggest news in Lorcana itself is the fact that this past weekend, the tickets for the Disney Lorcana North American and European Championships went on sale. And those dates are in August and in September. So August for the North American Championships, and in September for the European Championships. The North American Championships will be held where they were last year, which is at Disneyland Resort in California, and the European Championships will be held at Disneyland Paris. I believe where what?
Paris.
Oh, Paris. Yes. And then I don't know if tickets have gone on sale, so keep out if you're interested. There are also the Japanese Continentals, I believe, or championships, which I believe held at Tokyo Disney as well. So I'm not sure if those have gone on sale or not.
I don't think they have, but man, those other sold out pretty quick. Not like as fast as a DLC, but
they sold out
the same day. Like
yeah.
The ticketing system was really nice and smooth, though, so that's nice.
It is. Either of you get tickets for?
We didn't try.
That's too expensive. There's better events, and I'm hoping. My thought is there'll be better events closer that we can go to. We're really hoping that Worlds is open to attendees, and is in Disney World again, like they kind of probably wanted to do last year, but now even better. So that's like drivable, and like the pricing of everything comparably is better than California, where it is.
Yeah, well, not only is it expensive, it's also a lot. You like, vroom and drive.
Yeah,
less vrooming and more like what is an electric cart?
Zoom.
But yeah, so that does make it a challenge. My hope is I'm going to go and judge. That's what I would like to do.
Let's go
for that. And that'd be nice. I don't have it on our show notes, but I will talk to that coming up it's the 6th 11 o'clock, I believe, Central Time. The tickets for the Indianapolis DLC go live.
Wait,
And
what?
April 6th, right?
April 6th, yes.
Did I miss that? Did I forget that entirely?
Yeah, it's like a couple weeks from now.
Well,
I did. I guess I did forget that.
It'll be like but be about a week when this episode gets released. It'll be a little bit over a week. So just bookmark that in your calendars because I believe it's 12 p.m. Eastern, so it's noon Eastern, so that should be 11 a.m. our time. And that you can find all the details at the Past Times Events website. My question for both of you though is that we do know there will be a premium membership, or the VIP. Are either of you going to try to get the VIP membership?
Take my money. Here you go.
So here's our thought process, because they're obviously not cheap.
Yeah.
I think we're only one of us are gonna do it. Like, so we get the stuff because that's what is most important. Like the VIP lounge and stuff would be cool, and like if they want to go, like if Andy gets it, he wants to go, like that's fine. Bring me a snack.
Well, you can always swap the badge too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just swap each other's badges. You just need them to get, you're just showing a random, employee thing, and they go and grab
a snack, look around, check it out. Yeah.
I wonder if we're gonna get in trouble for that now. Scratch that. We didn't say that. No, we're not doing
that. I'll say I don't know how the experience was and I haven't watched any of the videos of the creators that have about the experience in Europe. But I did do this experience in Australia, and granted, the tournament is way smaller. Like there were like 480 players, but honestly, like the VIP lounge really never got super crowded at all. Like there weren't, it's like it was used that first day when people were re-sleeving their decks and stuff, because it was a great place to like just have kind of like nobody bothering you, and it was especially I think nice to like a lot of the pro players who often get folks asking them questions and stuff when they're trying to do something. So in that way, I think it was really nice. But honestly, like I would just pop in. The one thing that was nice about it in Australia is they had their own bathrooms for the VIP.
Oh, nice.
Lounge. That was
interesting.
But I don't know how they'll do it at larger events and what that scale looks like. But honestly, like truth be told, I really think you probably could get your money worth out of it, because you get both playmats, you get a non-foil card of like all the non-foil cards, you get the backpack, a water bottle, and the mats are still going, on secondary market for like $400.
Yeah, because we only need one.
Yeah, we'd be able to.
We only need them a lot, but I want the other swagged.
Yeah, honestly, it's the real. So I'm applying for the judge program again for Indianapolis. But if I somehow manage to get lucky to get the snag a VIP one, I might do it. And I don't know, I may not, but I might do it because I really, really want the bag. But at the same time, like now I have both playmats. I don't really like. It's the water bottle I know will just sit in my collection of branded water bottles I have in my kitchen cabinet. So like I could kind of live without the water bottle. But I do like the backpack, and I know people are probably like, you could just go buy the backpack. The backpack is only like $100 or like $120.
It takes the fun out of it, though.
No, it does take the fun out of it a little bit.
Yeah, why pay $100 for a backpack when you could pay $600 for a backpack
and get everything else and some snackies?
Well,
yes.
Speaking of the NAC championship, the Glimmer Games CCQ happened, and the winner of that, Clutchcoat, punched his ticket to those NACC championships with Amethyst Steel Burn. But the question I have, curious about, he actually said this. He said, now I have to go refund my LCQ ticket. He paused his match in the middle of the second round quick try and buy a championship ticket. Got one, and then won his invite. So I'll have to.
I mean, I know they are saying they're non-refundable. I imagine for people that get qualification, they will
Mm-hmm.
to refund. And I also kind of, in some ways, just imagine some tickets will probably become available, much in the way they've become available on Eventbrite. Like, I could be wrong about this, but I mean, I think
Maybe, yeah.
historically, like we've seen that happen. So,
Because the big problem I see with that is that, like, if, like you said, some tickets will come available, but if they don't, what if, like, 10%, there's 1,000 people in the last chance qualifier. What if 10% of that, 10 people, right? Oh, 100 people, sorry, 100 people don't show up. Now these pods are, 50 people shorter. That makes I think that makes it even harder.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, if I would have bought a ticket for, which I probably would have, to be honest, I just like to like. I'm honestly like, because I'm still struggling with getting back onto St. Louis time after being in Australia for so freaking long. I would have probably bought an attendee ticket. But I just I forgot, and now I'm just like banking on judging. But I think what I would have done is bought an attendee ticket, and then if I got a judging slot, I would have gotten rid of the attendee ticket and just gone as a judge. So now I'm banking on the hopeful fact that I can get a judging slot for it, which would be really nice. But I didn't really have a desire to, like, that. Just, it feels so daunting to go through that, like, the pods, and then you have to go through the event the next day.
Yep.
I mean, it really, and like, I think the odds are just really stacked hardcore against you, because like, going up against players that have either like one CCQ events, one DLCs, or like well topped a whole bunch of DLCs too. So it's a pretty competitive pool of players.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure that with even with 450 or so players, if some people don't show up, we're looking at you have to basically go undefeated. I think it's one loss and you're basically out.
Yeah.
You play through like 8 Swiss rounds or something like that, and they'll be able to, it's top 8. That's it. There's no cut to anything, no top cut or whatever. Just top 8 get to go on to the next day. Pretty brutal.
Speaking of really tough competition, there's also a tournament this weekend that both of you went through the decade down.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
It's a 5K event here. And you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, yay! They had these cool mats for literally everybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was really, really cool. It was a reasonable price for a 5K anyway, so it was just super nice that they did a play mat on entry. It didn't seem believable at first. It was like, are you sure that that's what that is? But they also had a foil version of that mat for first place too. So that was really fun.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
But Kirsten did really, really well and deserves a shout out. Top 4. They had a top 8 split, and then she played it out for the mat. But unfortunately didn't snag it. But still amazing. Out of all of us that went there, she did pretty darn good.
It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing Amber Steel. I think I shouted out on Twitter that Diego. It was just straight up his list. So I had been practicing that, and I really enjoyed playing it. And it was a lot more fun than Dogs, even though that's kind of what I had been on before, which is fine. I mean, like, Dogs is fine, but this Amber Seal deck's more fun to me. So I had switched over, and it did its thing for quite a while, and then in top 4, it's just like, no, I'm done, which is fine, because I was kind of like, no, I'm done. Like, the mat's cool. I wanted to stay and play for it. Like, I wouldn't have been mad if I won. That would have been really cool, but I also wasn't upset either, because I just wanted a top 8 split. We all just wanted a top 8 split, because, like, the risk to, like, value of, like, okay, well, you essentially have to win 2 games for it to be worth it to not split, basically. And I didn't want that pressure. And I was just like, let's just split. And everybody else wanted to split too. I'm like, let's go. Nice.
Yeah. I think that happens a lot, actually, at these events that are like cash only kind of prize events.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's some sort like additional prizing.
Right.
Like with the CCQs, there's a qualification on the line.
Yeah.
Or I think some of these what is it, the one that Ron and Britt have gone to a lot, I think there's like you want to acquire points to get into the like 50,000 tournament or whatever they have, like the next level. Like, so there's like incentive to play out, but like when you have kind of a one-off 5-10K, there's actually it becomes a challenge. And I only say this like Andy and I run into this issue a lot when we're streaming some of these events. It's like people are splitting, and it's like, well, no, folks want to watch finals match. They want to watch like the tiers and stuff,
which is fine. You just split and you keep playing for fun, like a.
But people want to go. They played all day. I get it.
Yeah,
I totally understand. I'd want to bounce. After
a lot of people had driven down, similar to our RLV teammates, Chip, Andy, and Kirsten, the Grape, and then obviously our good friend Ron. They all hopped in the car super early on Saturday, played the tournament, and then they went home the same night. So there were a couple of people in top 4. I can't remember his name. Josh Satterfield.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's from Peoria, I think. Somewhere up there, Chicago area.
Yeah.
But he was also top 8. He was the first seed actually from going into top 8 Swiss. And he was like, "No, I gotta drive home." Like, that is y'all crazy. No, thank you.
Yeah, we've seen him on stream in other in the One for All games, 1K that we've streamed as well.
And played at.
Yeah, like I said, he's a continental player as well, pretty good player. And then the other guy that was there playing dogs, that was in the top 4 that played it out.
He was a Golden Mickey winner.
Yeah, he's a Mickey winner. So.
Yeah, there was quite a few super competitive people there. But yeah, it was really a fun tournament because the meta there, like the spread of decks was super diverse, to be honest. Like there were a couple of like oddball things. Like obviously not a lot of people from our area play Amber Amethyst, but apparently down there in Louisville, they have quite a few people that play Amber Amethyst. And there was like a pretty decent amount of the meta. I wonder like if Inkdex would pull that like data from the like lists or not, but like that had to have been one of the higher.
I don't think they had everybody.
Oh,
okay. They didn't have every list in there.
I feel like that had to have been like at least like 20-25% of the spread there. There was a lot of them, but there was a lot of other things too. So that was like really fun. There wasn't just like everybody's playing dogs. There wasn't nearly as many dogs as I thought there would be either.
Yeah, I think we'll talk a little bit more about it in the main segment. I'm really curious to hear about the meta there. But before we get into Constituents Corner without the mayor, we're going to talk a little bit about Set Champs at Impact Gaming Center on April 4th. Andy and I will be streaming it with special guests. Be Our Guests and Brando. Am I missing anything, Andy, about that?
No. I'm excited though. Heath from Be Our Guest Lorcana and Brando from Lorcana Karaoke. You know him, you love him. He's cast with us before. He filled in for Vince one day. When Vince,
maybe he'll fill in for me again. Who knows? We'll see. Do I show up?
Can he wake up on time?
Yeah, I told him, I was like, "You're gonna be one of 4 people that's on the list. I'm the only one who's guaranteed to show up. Everyone else, if they don't, you gotta be ready to pull the weight."
I think it'll be great though. It'll be the, I think the first time that I've cast it, and we've had like multiple casters, which is nice because we'll be able to really truly take a break, and hopefully maybe do some other things. Stay tuned. We'll see. All right, with that, let's move on to Constituents Corner. Without the mayor, we have one question here. Kirsten, would you like to read it?
Yeah, it's from our friend Jackalope Spam in the Discord. He has his question, which is, if Ravensburger keeps the Infinity DLC model, should they mix them up, i.e. have second EU DLC Infinity while third NA is Infinity? That way we can see both metas in a given set.
I got an easy answer. No. I think uh, I don't want to see the world split up in metas, and I think Ravensburger agrees with that, and they're currently trying to catch up some of these other regions, make sure everyone has access to the same cards and is on the same meta. And I think that's just good for a healthy meta in general, because you have the entirety of the community of Lorcana all across the world working to solve and shape the same sort of question or problem, answer, whatever, however you want to see it, in deck building and things like that. So if you mix them up, then you got like these people that have to, what about the people that fly all over, go to all of these events? In theory, Ravensburger wants everyone to go to every event, right? That's the best case scenario. Even though that's obviously not feasible, but that would be asking a lot to have 2 different metas in the same section.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much about having 2 metas. I think my hot take though, I think I have like the hottest of all hot takes here, which is that I don't think DLC should be in. I think we should stick with core content, at the DLC and above. I've thought along about this, and I originally kind of liked the idea when they announced this, and it's like, oh, it's good. Like, we're really growing a new card, and we're gonna have support for it, and that's really great and stuff. But I'll be honest, like me personally, I will just say it's like I look at Indianapolis and it's the one DLC. Like, I'm just not like I'm excited to go. I'm not excited, would not be excited to play it particularly. Like, it's like I think Infinity should be supported inside events, have major, competitive events with it. I'm totally on board with all of that, because I know there are people that really like Infinity, and being able to play with all your cards is so fun. And I'm a huge fan of all these alternative formats. But as like a competitive level format, I really think Core Constructed is like the most important thing to the long-term stability of the game. It's like we play in our set champs, we play Core Constructed. We talk about Core Constructed on this podcast all the time. It's like when people are putting out guides, they're putting out guides on Core Constructed. And obviously you could say, well, they'll do it for Infinity. And yes, they will do it because we're having an event for Infinity. But I think if you poll a lot of these folks, people will be like, yeah, I'd rather do Core Constructed because I want to do what's new. We're getting a whole new set of cards with we're for the first time ever, we're getting my favorite kind of things with Pixar into the game, and all of a sudden now we're going to say we're not going to see what that meta looks like really outside of like set champs and these other events, because Indianapolis is all going to be about Infinity. And who knows if any of those cards are going to make it into a competitive Infinity deck. So, I mean, like I said, I think that might be my biggest hot take of all, but I think it solves kind of this whole problem. Like, it just gets everybody on the same meta, because all we're doing is we're all playing core constructed. And once China and Japan get caught up to the meta, which they're catching up super fast, then they get to rotate through, which I think they'll rotate sometime next year. Is when they'll finally be on the exact same meta as the globe. Don't quote me on that.
I don't know.
It was in Chinese. It was in Japanese. I do not speak Japanese. So I don't know that I quite understood it. But it is, I just think core constructed is the way to go. I enjoy playing core constructed as a competitor. I like playing Infinity for fun.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think I pretty much agree with you. You're saying just ban Infinity.
Clip it. That's the
ban Infinity.
Ban Infinity.
Well,
Bye.
I do think that there is something to be said about the idea that at Worlds, while I don't necessarily agree with their format that they did this past Worlds, and I really hope they improve upon it, I do like the idea where they came out and they openly admitted and said, look, we want the winner of Worlds to be more than just the core constructed champion of Lorcana. We want him to be a well-rounded champion of all things Lorcana. So, I'm open to the idea of Worlds being like an Olympic, right? So my question for the Constituents Corner that we can discuss right now and go back and forth on is, what events do you think, right or wrong answers, doesn't matter, we could have at the World's Lorcana Olympics? I'll start by, obviously there's core constructed and Infinity, but I'll also say Pack Rush. Vince, Kirsten?
I'm down for that because I'm doing pretty well at that. I don't know if I can spoil it, but
Do you have any other idea? Obviously, sealed. We could do sealed. We could do draft.
I think that sealed and draft are too unfair, and that's kind of what we saw at Worlds last time.
No wrong answers. Like I said, how about collection size? Bring all of your bulk. Whoever has the most bulk wins the round.
How about like with camera teams, kind of like Amazing Race style collection quest in the park?
Okay. It's like
they got
scavenger hunt.
Places.
Scavenger hunt.
It's like a scavenger hunt. You have to
who can eat the most Lorcana cards? No. Instead of a food contest, whatever, like a hot dog eating, it's a Lorcana card eating contest. Okay, we're kidding.
I actually do think either doing sealed or draft would be good, as long as it was like the either or and not the super sealed they did in the thing, which I wasn't
you did
huge
half sealed, half draft before in like Gen Con or something, right? That was okay. You did didn't you do another? You got like a whole booster box for
yeah, but I didn't. I mean, I still have the booster box up there. I ended up not doing it. I kind of like, because the ticket prices for staying in the side event was actually better.
Oh yeah, you mentioned.
So that's how I ended up with 2 mats. So I'm pretty happy.
But if we did all core constructed, I wouldn't be opposed to having there's a pretty good argument that could be made that in not a long amount of time, DLCs can support 4,000 players in the main event, but they could also potentially support 1,000 to 2,000 more people in, an Infinity mini DLC, an Infinity DLC, right? Like DLCs have winners go to Worlds with less than 500 people in them. So I don't see any reason why we can't have these events like the large Infinity side events that some of these DLCs have, which are 300 to 500 players or so. The winner of that goes to Continentals, maybe, right? Maybe it's a mini CCQ, or maybe,
100% agree.
Yeah, 100%. And they, there should be paths to further play through Infinity.
Yeah, 100% agree. I just think as far as like the main event for DLCs, I think they should. Partly like one is like I really my thing is I wish we had more DLCs that aligned better with like each kind of like meta game, because they give like, you know, they're great for our community because we all talk about it. It's like, oh, did you see that? You know, like I'm gonna, you know, that's an awesome deck. I didn't even, you know, think about that and stuff. It's like all the rage basically since all, you know, DLC Melbourne has been about the uh Ink Geyser version of you know, what is it, Emerald Sapphire. And so yeah, Baja. And so, you know, you have all of these really great things that happen, and like I just don't know that they're, and the great thing in my opinion is that a lot can change in Core Constructed. We have seen how decks really go through evolutions throughout Core Constructed sets. You know, it's like, yes, Blurple has been really great, but also like a whole bunch of new decks we're going to talk about have risen to the top or are in competition. And I just think the thing is like, unless they create a set that is very Infinity focused, Infinity decks are probably less malleable to change except over like longer periods of time, right? And stuff like maybe you get a card here that's spicy or whatever and stuff, but like, I mean, I imagine we'll see decks, you know, that are, and they may not win. I'm not saying they're going to be the best decks, but I imagine we're going to see a lot of decks, you know, that are very much in like blue steel or, you know, ruby sapphire. You know, it's like we're going to see a lot of like fours of be prepared. So we're going to see, you know, what's her name? Rapunzel, Gift It with Healing, come back, you know, as a 4 of in a lot of decks. You know, we're going to see a lot of those key cards that we haven't seen in a long time, which is fun and interesting. But you don't get the same, you know, spice. Like, you know, how relevant is a card, say like Dumbo, which is a super relevant card in today's meta? How relevant is that necessarily in an Infinity meta? I don't know. Like, I mean, it could be, but I think it's competing against a lot more cards for its slot in the deck.
Yeah.
Each card is going to have to do that.
Yeah, the deck building, if you think of deck building like an actually solvable mathematical problem, there are X number of cards in the available card pool. When it's a 5 sets, like right after it rotates, there's only 5 legal sets. The card pool is its smallest, which means there's a smaller number of possible 60 card decks that you could build in various combinations. Not that, you know, you as a human could test every single one of them or that it would even be worth your time, but you know, if a super smart computer was doing it, they would run the calculations on every single deck. And then Infinity is just so many cards now. We're up to, there's 200 cards set, and we've had 11 sets now, 2,200 cards. It's
A little less with reprints, but yeah, roughly about the ballpark.
fair. But yeah, 2,000 cards ish. You know, that's a lot to,
and growing with every set.
that is a lot to ingest and try and figure out what you want to play. And we are, like you said, Vince, we already have a really diverse current meta. So with Infinity, it probably just gets even wider. There's just even more decks that are viable.
I think that's true. I think that'll probably be the one thing that changes with Infinity, is not so much that decks we know change, it's that decks we didn't see as relevant decks will make an appearance. So I could think of things like Sapphire Amber, you know, making or decks we haven't seen in a long time. Like Ruby Amethyst could probably be is probably going to be like a decent deck, I would imagine, in Infinity. But you know, I mean, a lot of this is hard because we don't have a lot of information about Infinity, and so I think it also just makes that a really tough DLC to prepare for. You know, so that I just like I'll be somewhat curious to see how fast tickets go on sale.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it's gonna sell out instantly like the other ones. I think they'll.
Yeah, it's an
I think
interesting.
it'll.
but
I don't know. We'll
agree.
see.
No, I kind of agree with you actually. Like it's a hot take that I agree with.
Well, I just want to say that for legal reasons, Rules of Villainy is not advising that you sleep on or take your time or relax in the ticket
No,
buying process of Indianapolis. If you really want to go, you got to assume they're going to sell out in 0.5
I mean, that's what we're
seconds.
gonna do.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
no,
I
absolutely.
don't
Too
agree.
close
I don't
not
agree
to
with either
go.
y'all. Y'all crazy. I think they're going to sell it instantly.
I mean,
You could
I
get
hope
Backrush
honestly,
DLC
I hope
and
you're
people
right.
would.
I think that's great for the game if it does. I actually think my guess will be is that I think attendee badges are actually going to be harder to come by than main event or this team.
That's
There's less of
true.
them.
It's up.
So technically, they're always harder to come by.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think they're going to. Anyway, we've beaten this question. Thank you, Sam. We've gone well around this. If you have questions, which you should, because I hope you're enjoying this podcast, please write your questions in the comments below. So I'm going to tell you what. The YouTube algorithm works in mysterious ways that I don't understand. But apparently, if you write things down below, it helps this video go out to more people. And that's helpful for us. But if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. You can also go to our Discord and join our growing community of Lorcana fans and write your questions in Constituent Corner. But honestly, you should absolutely write comments below. Let's get a discussion going. Come on, do it. Write a question. Thank you. All right. With that, we got our main segment here. So Kirsten, tell us a little bit about your deck. You ran Amber Steel songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Songs.
We'll call it that, I guess. There was 3 songs total. All 4 ofs, but no, I just stole Diego's list. Level 9,000 style. I thought it looked really fun. I tested Skies too a little bit, and I just felt more comfortable on Diego's because the Rhino is really nice, obviously, and then I can't remember the aerial is always for me kind of harder to set up, but that's probably just because I'm bad, which is fine. But I really liked Rhino. That deck felt really good in the testing, and then it did really good, obviously, on Saturday, getting 3rd/4th. But if you look at Ink Dead's second, but like it's fine. Something messed up when they reported it, but it doesn't matter. Top 8 split, and we played for the mat, and I lost in my first round of top 4. But I lost to the person who won it all, so I'll take it. He was playing Amber Amethyst, a deck I had not tested against because no one in our area plays that deck really. They had last set when Whispers was a thing and Purple Steel was eating everybody alive, and somebody made that deck and was like, nope, I'm going to stop you. But
so one question I have about this deck here is the inclusion of Nani, the stage manager. And so I have a question, like, how do you like this card? Because it feels like I mean, I guess you do have a decent amount of 2 drops, but it probably feels pretty bad. Do you have any?
I mean, it's kind of like whiffing with Ariel, you know, like I'm kind of used to it. I've had that happen in the past. But I really like Nani. It's to search for docs, really. To look for docs, or if you really need it in a certain circumstance, like against dogs or Baja, search for Mowgli if you know like a Under the Sea is coming up, or a Malicious Mean and Scary Prince Philip combo. So I like the Nani, and plus she's inkable, so you know if you have to throw her in the inkwell, it's not that big of a deal. Plus she's a 3/3, so she does survive Under the Sea on her own.
26 2 drops in there. I think that's pretty high.
No, I think it is pretty high, actually.
High percentage, yeah.
I just played Ron on this exact same deck on Tuesday.
Yeah.
He played Naughty, I think, twice and whiffed both times.
Oh,
and I was like,
yikes.
That's not great. I mean, he won. He ended up winning, so don't feel too bad. You only feel so bad for him.
No. I have to give Ron a special shout out because I ended up getting paired into him round 6, and I got a pair down. So I had to win that game to be able to tie the 7th round, and he just gave me because he had no chance of making top 8 basically. So
Well,
it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helped me get to the 7th round to just tie to make top 8. So
I did find, I will say, that Chief Powhatan can be real annoying when you're playing.
oh yeah,
him,
he's
'cause
real
of that
nice. Chief
5/5
Pow Pow, he's
body.
my guy. He came
Uh,
in handy quite a few times over the weekend too. Just being able to sing a cood, get a couple big characters down, and then if I end up getting another one, I just slap a Chief Pow Pow down, and it's like, oop, I'm gonna go on a quest.
I mean, especially when you're playing something like Blurple and stuff, unless you're playing, like something like Sven, it can be a real challenging card.
No, you just let it go, or Indiana
Well,
on
yeah,
it, or
without
Hades
its
in.
song. Yeah, I mean, with removal, yes. But
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying if
pretty
you
good.
need a challenge and you can't find those songs, or somehow they've played their Mowgli and they've ripped songs out of you to find, it can be somewhat of a
Yeah.
problem.
I think Blurple has a generally favorable matchup because Blurple's just removing it into the ink. I mean, they have 12 ways to
In our
send it to your
testing, I did
inkwell.
lose like a lot.
And
of
you didn't play any
Blurple.
Blurple at all for
I
the
didn't run
whole
into a single
tournament.
Blurple.
But
in
you
contention.
did play, like, some of the decks you did play. Well, I mean, Dogs twice, 2 different
So
spicy
it was 2
versions of
different
Dogs.
dogs. They were 2 spicy versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first round she was super nice, and she was playing kind of dogs. I don't think she had some of the like key dog elements, but she was playing like the Mulan version with Elanwees, and little things to beef up the Mulan.
Crazy.
And my deck just kind of like steamrolled.
It can be really spicy. I've seen that deck get like a lot of lore in one turn.
Yeah.
But those matchups, you're right. They're never getting through Chief Powhatan, right? They just
Yeah.
they're not trying to. They're always just trying to go a little faster than you. Although you did play a Circle of Life Big Prince Philip one.
That one was really kind of spicy, and I mean it was doing well because I think at that point we were both 3-1. We were both 3-1. And yeah, like it was definitely harder to stop him from doing the Prince Philip combo, which is even more devastating than the Under the Sea sometimes I feel. Because it just takes everything, like all of my poor little hamsters.
Yeah.
This doesn't do anything. But luckily I was able to keep him from doing that more than once. He got that on me one game, the second game out of 3. And it really turned the game around for him, and he just kind of ran away with it.
Yeah, so you played Amethyst Steel and Amethyst Amber.
Yep.
And even potentially Ruby Amethyst to an extent. That none of those in those colors, like, they don't have a great answer, Chief Powhatan, right?
Except for Ruby Amethyst.
Ruby Amethyst.
Ruby Amber?
Ruby Amethyst.
How does Ruby Amethyst deal with it?
Hercules.
The one he had a one of Hercules. No, I'm saying,
and it worked. That's what happened.
But not only that though, they usually also run Lumiere too, and
yeah.
So he had things like Big Sisu.
He
had other options to be able to do it.
Okay, it's gonna trade with whatever challenges into it. It's gonna be hard to get by. Yeah, I think maybe like a strength or a Thunderbolt plus a little guy would potentially be devastating if you quested some things behind the Powhatan that you shouldn't have.
You are right in the sense that I think from a pure hard removal perspective, Blurple probably is the easiest pathway to get rid of it, assuming they get those cards. But otherwise, like if you end up
they always have no card
where you don't get that, they don't have really anything.
They always have cards though.
Baja and like Amber Sapphire are also probably just trying to board wipe you. So either one, they don't care about your Chief Powhatan. They were never challenging anyway. They have a Tipo, a Clarabelle, and Cindy on board, right?
And I think that's also the object of Amethyst Amber with the Raging.
Yeah, Raging Storm. They also have Let It Go and Hades, but and then so it's like, and also Baja has like, You're Welcome if needed, which can get rid of something like that. Or I mean, just Big Clarabelle is a 5/6. It survives. Pretty nice.
Still really annoying though, because you could pretty easily fill the board. Do you find like, you're able to kind of cheat out in a lot of respects with things like you've got the turn. What is that card?
A cood.
The Angel.
Underdog.
Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, as one, you've got the Grandmother Willow.
Mm-hmm.
If you, like you said, a cood as well, right? So you've got these options in which you can, and a cood replaces itself too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you could sing it with Nani, and then draw a card, and then play another card potentially for free or for way less.
Here's the sauce, right? You go second, you play Angel for 1 because the underdog ability, and then they do whatever they want to do. And then on turn 2, you ink, you sing a cood, and then you play an Angel, and you discard a card from Angel to take out whatever they played. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, did you just play Grandmother Willow? Bye.
There were a lot of games that basically happened.
Yep. It's pretty nasty. And if it's not that, it's a free Rhino.
Yep. There's lots of options.
And then you get one of those out right away. You can also then sing Strength. Or Thunderbolt. Sorry, not Strength, because so can Angel. But you could also even take out like a little lady or something with 3 Strength, because you can go Angel, and then on turn 2 you can go Grandmother Willow plus like a 1-drop Strength.
Yep.
Do 3 damage.
Yep.
It seems like you want a good early line that sets you up into the mid game where you basically just can't lose. We did.
Yeah.
We wrote up those tournament reports, shared it with the team. We were talking, and I read through yours, and there was a lot of them where you were just kind of like, I had Shift Rhino on turn 2, and they could never get. They just, it took them too long to get to it, right?
Yeah.
Or I
Shift
found
2
one or
Rhino's
2
pretty
removal
good.
spells that
Yeah.
they never got to stick anything to the board.
Yeah.
So
My deck was feeling pretty on fire that day. It did its job well.
yeah, because it's not just cheap Powhatan.
I tell you what, I've long been a resist guy. Been saying resist is gonna have its moment.
Yeah.
Because it's not just Chief Powhatan. The Angel with no cards is a 5, takes 5 damage. The Rhino takes 5 damage all at once to take it out because of the resist that are on there.
And then the snowboarder stitch is pretty hard to remove. And I have Goliath too.
And Goliath and Stitch, they all take at least 5. They're all 5 willpower, which is, for one, like Vince said, Sven stocks to the moon. To the moon, Sven. I'm putting him in all my decks now. But
I mean, it's kind of necessary.
Hard to deal with.
Yeah, to deal with it. And honestly, like I think, like in a lot of ways, Chief Powhatan is actually a little underrated here because it can't challenge characters. There's no, and like you quest with it, and it's going to protect the rest of my board. And it's like you're basically telling your opponent, putting a time clock on you. You're going to have to deal with this to get through my board. So you either have to find a way to wipe my board, or you're gonna need to get through this character to get to my other one. Because if he was a 5/5 and you could challenge into your opponent's board, you might be tempted to do so to clear their board, and then it makes the card easier to remove. But because you can't, in a lot of ways, it's actually a great way for you to be like, you know what? I can't do it. He's got to stay here. I got a quest.
Oh well, he's a good singer too, so it's fine.
Vince using Chief Pow Pow as a self-control tool.
Honestly, it's
I
kind of
don't need a challenge. I don't need a challenge. Just quest to 20. Just quest to 20. I've got that.
That's kind of what I did. Fine.
But when you think about it, like if you're like kind of in a more aggro control style player, having that where it can't control is kind of a nice oh, you know what? I gotta play.
Sometimes it's real annoying though, to be honest, because sometimes I'm just looking at him and I'm like, why can't you do more?
Yeah, it's like if you think about like its counterpart, because it's 4 cost, right? 4 cost 5/5.
Yeah.
If you played a Nakoma, which is a 4 cost 4/6, that can challenge, like there's probably times where you're sitting there like, okay, I can win this game against this faster deck, like this, burn deck, or this dogs player that is questing with daisies and things. I can win that fight long term by just getting over that hump into the mid game. But what I don't want to be doing is throwing down a character that can't fight back when I'm currently in fight back mode, right? This is the time I don't want Turtle Boys. I want, Shift Rhino, right? I want that Angel to be able to drop stuff or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not sure you would play this if it were on, because I think there are times you.
Oh yeah, I probably would not have that in my deck.
I think if this was uninkable,
it's too much of a commitment.
Nope.
I mean, I guess in this situation with that deck specifically, actually, is not the worst because I could just throw it away with the Angel. But then I have to have the Angel to get rid of it, which isn't always the easiest to do.
You can always throw it away with Doc as well, but
poor Doc, yeah,
that's not great. But yeah, it's only a 2 of in your deck as well, so that's not. It might not actually be unplayable and uninkable, but you'd certainly think about something different, maybe.
It wouldn't be a 4 of, that's for sure.
There's probably good other bodyguards in the similar vein that would work well.
I did end up building the Amethyst Amber deck that was at this tournament. So I was like, oh, that was kind of fun.
The one that won?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or technically won. I don't even know.
No, he actually won.
Is that I realize though, I'm not very good and I need to play more than 3 games for what it's worth.
Yeah.
A lot of 1-ofs.
Yeah, he had a lot of 1-ofs, and man, what was the one that he had a 1-of and he got me good?
Very Swiss Army knife.
Ohana?
Was it Ohana?
Raging Storm, Stitch.
No.
He had like all of his 1-ofs.
I don't remember.
I
don't know. I lost swiftly and quickly at 2, which is fine because I was hungry for some Wawa at the time.
Actually, a question I have for you, Andy. We talked about Sven as an option in Blurple. What about Demona, Betrayer of the Clan?
That's been seeing some play. I brought one with me.
Yeah, I saw a couple people with that.
I brought one with me to the 5K and considered putting it in my deck.
Was it in the Amber Amethyst
deck?
It was
in this deck, yes.
That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
So you just it just sits there and checks whatever's on the board, right? You're kind of the longer the game goes on, whereas like Baja, the longer the game, towards the later game, it gets really, really strong. This deck, I think, is just like consistently strong, in a mid-range, at a mid-level throughout the whole game. While it doesn't have like huge bombs in the late game, it has a lot of card draw that can get you, continually flood the board with good cards that either threaten lure or allow you to do removal or mostly draw more cards. So the Demona is just, it's there instead of Iago, right? No Iagos in this list, so it can never be removed by the illusion tricks. It checks basically everything, right? 6/6 takes out a whatchamacallit, cow,
Yep.
right?
The only thing it would
Cow, Blue
out
Hades.
Hades.
is Prince, right?
Yeah, well,
Well, and
because
he's
it's
evasive
evasive.
anyway.
That's
Oh yeah,
why.
he's
Yeah. But you have the Horseman Strikes for any evasives, really. I think you're just not trying to challenge the evasives. Maybe something like Zen would kind of be doable here. I can't see how many uninks this is. 10. So I mean, they have maybe a little room, but oh, probably don't really need it. It would just have Dumbo synergy, and I think I'm probably just biased towards Sven. I like that card. I think it's pretty good. Swinging for 5 is pretty decent. But I mean, I'm surprised this deck is able to remove something like a Chief Pow Pow. I don't think I saw you play one, but
I thought I did at one point.
maybe.
I
But
think.
this,
Well, I mean, like,
other than
it,
the Simona,
doesn't he have Alonweave? He doesn't. He has
yeah, he does
Alonweave,
have a Lanwi, but I mean, like, an
which could
Lanwi
support
also.
anything.
the thing with the
Yeah.
one, I will say, the one challenge is that, really the thing you're really trying to get to here is Raging Storm. I did change this deck a little.
He only
I
has
had it
one. He only has
one.
one Raging Storm.
Uh, so I cut Hypnotic Strength and added 2 of
That's what it was. He used his Palace Guard to take out my Chief Pow Pow because he was able to draw so many cards.
The Royal Guard with Hypnotic Strength.
Yeah, or something,
Yeah.
or maybe it was Wahana. I don't remember.
Royal Guard
That
is a
pretty
2,
good.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, with the Hypnotic Strength, it's up to 5.
Yeah,
It's a 1 of.
that's what he took my Chief Pow
Wow.
Pow out with.
Honestly, you could also do it with Royal Guard and just no,
Woodchuck?
you do one short. I was gonna say Woodchuck.
No,
That would
yeah, that'll be 4.
4. So yeah, you need.
Yeah, he had options. So
Yeah,
You also
that's pretty good.
they have
Finders Keepers.
World's Greatest Criminal Mind here.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it was Finders Keepers and not.
Finders Keepers is pretty good too, because you can do that, draw 3, and that buffs the Royal Guard as well.
Yeah, I
I
don't
played
remember which one it was.
I played a 1 of Finders Keepers in my Blurple deck. I feel like it would help me in a lot of the mirrors, and in a lot of the control matchups, especially against, it basically solidifies my matchup against Amethyst Steel. This is Blurple. I played on Blurple. Those unaware. I didn't realize if I said that or not, but yeah, it's obviously not good in a aggro matchups. You don't really need it there. But I did find out that it almost doesn't really matter into Baja. Baja seems like it should have like a 99% win rate into Blurple. The Blurple with Baja matchup is basically unwinnable.
Yeah,
They just have a brick.
did you run into that a lot?
Yeah, I ran into 3 of them.
Oh my god!
Out of the 7 rounds,
I didn't play a
played
single
3.
Baja.
Round 1, I played against Baja, and they played a Cindy, played a Sail, and then Ink Geysered. And then they double inked, turn for Sail, and then they played Tipo, and then they inked off the Tipo, and then at the end of the turn they did the Cindy trigger, and they were back at like 7 or 8 ink, and I'm at 3, and it passes to me, and I ink, and what am I supposed to play? What, play a Genie or something? So just like a hard cast under the sea, just to be insulting with it or something.
Like you did my grandma the other day on Deck Test Tuesday. You under the sea, my grandmother Willow.
Yeah.
That was the only card that you under the.
I wanted to
You were
get
just
cards out of my
being mean.
hand.
Mate.
Yeah, I what we say right here is that the always better to be lucky than good, and sometimes you can get the matchups that set your deck on fire, and sometimes you can end up getting into the matchup light your deck here. So
yeah, I think if I would have played Baja or Blurple, it might have lit my deck on fire. It's pretty favorable matchups in my opinion. It went pretty well.
I'm fairly proud, I guess, of my performance. I mean, I played 3 Baja and I only won one of them, and it was against Chip, our teammate. Yeah. So
why did he play dogs anyway?
yeah, he so there were 6 of us there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6 of us there from the area, right?
Yep.
And round 5 or
6.
6, I guess it was round 6. Me and Chip get paired. Kirsten and Ron get paired.
We're
Tables
seated right next to each other.
Tables right next to each other. We're like
just in this like 4 little group, like we're playing at freaking Fortuna or something.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous that we traveled 5 hours to play our own teammates
Right next to each
and
other.
friends.
Could be worse. You could have gotten paired with each other, which happens more than you would think possible.
That's
I wouldn't
fair.
have given her the free win either. I'd have made her play for it. What? I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
And next week it'll just be me on this podcast alone.
I'll be in jail. I don't know what Andy will be dead.
3 Baja. I only beat Chip because he bricked basically. So that's the only way Blurple wins is if they just really brick. But I'd also played round 1 against Baja and basically spent the whole time, reliving it in my head as flashbacks and trying to get better at it. And so I do feel like I played it fairly well. But I also played at dogs. So first matchup, Baja, and I thought I was on Team Dodge Dogs all day. And I get Baja, and I'm like, okay. And then I realize that they just slowly build up to a board wipe. They flood the board, they ink guys, and there's nothing you can do. It's it. They punish you for having cards in your hand, which is something you want to do with Blurple and with Amethyst decks in general. They punish you for having ink in your inkwell, because if you ramp up too much, it's just going to get geysered away. And they punish you for having characters on the board. So you're not allowed to do anything in the game.
Baja's
Don't
just
draw a
mean.
card, don't ink any cards, don't play any cards. Baja can't beat you.
I would much rather be, not that it's even still winnable, I think, a favorable match, but I would much rather have Bend to the Will be played against me than Ink Geyser, because it taunts you because you have now like 30 cards in your hand and I can't do anything with them. So I have all these cards and can't do anything, versus being bent to my will where I have no cards, but at least I have ink and I could pray to the gods of the top deck that I can get something good off of the top deck.
Doc o'clock up.
Yeah, but they 100% ruin any game plan. And it's also kind of a nice strategy too, because it's like they have more opportunities to be able to ramp more too. For their, it's because they've got the same kind of pieces that really you do for ramp. They've got the Tipo, they've got the Sail, they also have Cindy as well, and I've seen some decks try Moana, although I think that is a little greedy, if I'm being honest. But I think Cindy's especially a great play with something like Ink Geyser, because it's like
it's a must play. It's a must play.
They've already put this card in their inkwell. They're fine putting it right back into their inkwell to draw a card. Like it's totally, I think, a hard match to go against. Because like you said, you have all these options, but you can't do anything, and now you become a spectator in your match.
And if they just board wiped you and they still have other characters on board, like the Donald that they use to draw cards on their way up, the Clarabelle they use to draw cards on their way up, the Prince Philip that they shifted to wipe your board, the John Silver to keep you at bay on the way up. They've locked you out of not just the board, but that top deck, like you said, Vince, they were like, oh, you know what? Before when we were playing Baja, this guy over here kept top decking good cards. And I'm like, how do I stop him from doing that? Oh, I don't know. Take all his ink away. How about that? Now his top decks don't matter.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I also played Amber Sapphire, which is also very, very difficult to win. They ramp much faster than you. And now with the addition of Mufasa, 2 of Mufasa, which fortunately my opponent saw both of in both games. But you have 12 removal tools in the Into the Unknown, the Let It Go, and the Hades, but can't really Into the Unknown the Mufasa unless you a Demona or Elsa it, because you don't want to you can't let it quest. That has to be banished on site, right? And so you really got to have a Hades or Let It Go and keep it around for something like that. And then they just ramp way, way, way faster. And so they'll search their deck for a card, and they'll just play it, draw more and more with Surfer Stitch, and yeah, it's rough. It's really rough to keep up with. I was able to beat Amethyst Steel and Emerald Amethyst, sorry, which Snow Fort, kind of annoying, not gonna lie. Double Snow Fort, pretty darn brutal. But yeah, I opened Baja, learned that I hated Baja, and then went into a dogs matchup, and I was like, oh no. But luckily, I got through that one, and then went into Amber Sapphire, and was about to go 03 and to the drink store next door. But we kept in it till the very end. But the way it worked out was Kirsten took the top 8 and everyone ID'd that last round, and I was just happy to have fun and play Lorcana.
Yeah.
Kirsten did really well.
That's
really proud.
We are all very proud.
was a lot of
Randy
fun.
now has a growing list of cards that he wants to send to Mr. Ravensburger to ban. But only in matches that he plays, to be clear.
Ink Geyser.
Not a overall fail. But with that, let's get into your favorite segment, and of course, my favorite segment,
Villain of the Week.
Who is our villain this week, Kirsten?
Our villain this week is the 4-cost Inkable Angel Experiment 624. She came in quite handy over the weekend. She is a 3-strength, 3-willpower, storyborn ally alien. And she's got 2 abilities. 1, Untouchable. While you have no cards in your hand, this character gains resist +2. And Good Aim. Once during your turn, you may choose and discard a card to deal 2 damage to a chosen character. She quests for 1. And the artist is, I'm going to butcher this, so please forgive me, Augie Christensen? Christensen.
Probably.
I hope it's Augie. I think it's Augie. And they have 13 other cards. Pretty cool ones, too. Like, they've got, it looks like they have all of the Angel cards, because they did Experiment 64, and then the Siren Singer Angel, and a Cood.
Mm-hmm.
They did 2 of my new favorite cards, Vixie and Todd, the legendary Todd. Super cute. And then they've also done like a couple of the puppies, the Amber Sapphire puppies, a Robin Hood, everybody's favorite 2-cost uninkable Simba 1/1 that quested for 3.
Yeah.
I remember when that card was actually playable. Back in my day.
So
a couple other cool ones too, but
yeah,
the Angel is real nice.
Decent collection. So this is a card actually Andy and I have talked a lot about on this podcast about our opinions. So before we get into that, I actually want to hear your why you say it's really nice and how did it help you win our performance what you did.
Honestly, if I could just get the Angel down early with an Akud somehow, whether it was turn 1 little hamster, turn 2 shift hamster, and then wait another turn and play a coup or an angel. But most commonly it was whenever I was going second, I would play little angel, sing a coup, and then on turn 2 bring out angel. And then that allows me to take out anything that they play 1 or 2 typically, especially because of like certain matchups. Like I found myself doing that a lot where I was playing amber decks, so I would just wait for them to put their grandma down and immediately snowball their grandma. Um, so that was a lot of what she helped with, as far as like early game and getting her out early. But in the later game, obviously too, she's really nice because with the resist 2, if I don't have any cards in my hand, she's pretty beefy and she can take out some things that I need to remove to keep on questing to the top, or I could just sit there and let them try and run into me.
Yeah, there's definitely like certain scenarios where Angel, I think, can be really, really strong. One, when you have infinite cards in. So, um,
Or
yeah,
Lilo's.
if there's just a
If
card
it's a
that's
Lilo, I never mind discarding her. Like, sure.
right, so there's some freebies for
Yeah.
discard. Um, it essentially makes your top decks always at worst fire the cannons, right?
Yep.
Which is not nothing. I think I'd probably play a fire the
Depends on the
cannons
matchup,
and like
though.
a little rhino or like, just any random, other card perhaps that doesn't help you in the situation at all.
Mhm.
Um, but I do think against opposing Lilos, fairly helpful. Dogs decks or any decks that like to stack lots of characters up. It also is
Yep.
surprisingly useful against Ruby decks that are playing
Lumiere,
not only Lumiere but also Headless Horseman.
Horseman.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
4/2. That's pretty great value to be able to throw away any of
Yeah.
those small characters you have. But that brings me to my biggest problem with Angel and why I think this card is not great, in my opinion. I don't like it. I don't like it. Obviously, it works. I think this card is kind of like the best that we have, which is not terrible. Like, it works kind of like the dwarf mine did, where like it's not the greatest way to get a couple damage here or there, but
Mhm.
it is a consistent way to constantly do damage. Um, and even in amethyst decks, which obviously are the king of draw, king or queen of draw, um, you just man don't want to throw away my cards. Like it's just
Yeah. It's really situational, to be honest.
it's but there's a lot of like you said, that line where you play Angel on 2 and you could throw something away to get rid of really important cards is great. But now imagine doing that where you don't have a dock, right?
Yeah, but you don't, like, keep doing that because eventually they're going to put characters
Doing it
down that,
once.
like, aren't worth, you know, throwing a snowball at. Like, if honestly, any time I'm playing Amethyst, I'm basically never gonna throw a snowball past turn, like, 3 because I can't stack the damage in fear of the cat, you know?
Yeah.
There are some decks that are just like that where, like, you can't just leave free hanging damage around. It's too risky. So, like, in certain matchups, Blurple, she's kinda useless because there's really not that much I can take out or really effectively do with that deck, you
Though
know?
I will say in Blurple, there are I think targets that could be useful that it can just clearly take out,
Oh,
like
I mean, yeah, like a
Royal Guard
Basil, I guess,
or
but
Basil. Because like even those really aren't threats,
right,
they stack up to threats.
right.
When you turn your card sideways. So in some ways, like I think there is some value, but generally speaking, I think you're right in some ways though that even then you want to try to get those out on the first 3 turns because
Mhm.
really like a Blurple player doesn't want to play Basil or Royal Guard on turn, 6.
Right.
That's good for you, bad for them.
Yeah, that's why it's just like super situational, I think, because like I feel like especially if you can get her out early and just impact the early game enough where you can start to run away with it, then she's just another threat on the board that they have to take out whether I have cards or not. So that just allows me to do other things.
Do you feel like it ever hampered you with it when it came to card draw though? Like that's always my thing there. But I mean, I played. Ron has had this in variations of his deck
Oh
for a while
yeah.
when I played it. So
Yeah.
he had it in Amethyst Steel deck, now in a very similar deck to this. And it's just been one of those things. Is like in both of those situations, like there's never really a time that he was out of cards, and so I mean, like you could be out of cards, but it'd be
Yeah.
like it'd be in like in a situation where you might want to because you want to play something like a
Mhm.
Goliath, or you want to play something like a dock, so you're getting full kind of value.
Why
Yeah,
is
I
hard to
think
get?
it is a little hard to get to sometimes. But I think for the most part, at least at the past tournament this Saturday, she was always like super helpful, and like I always had the like top deck magics of being able to find a dock or whatever, pretty much up until my top 4 match. I think like I think the first game was a little neck and neck. I can't remember. It's been a couple days, and I'd have to look at my lore pad. Um, but one of the games I feel like was pretty tight, and I was able to explode a little bit and kind of get a couple things on the board, and then I just fizzled out, and he's got better cards than me and more card draw, and I could never find anything like a dock or anything. So I think that for the most part, at least for me, she was always really helpful, and I never like felt bad about doing some of my discards or playing her at all. I think it just kind of was top deck magic that day.
Yeah, I have a hard time playing decks like the Amber Steel because of their lack of real draw engine, if you will. I mean, Dock is not a draw engine. You use it once and then that's it.
It's in a little bit of a better spot now, I think, because it has a Cood, which sure it just replaces itself, but that's still pretty nice. And then you get a discounted cost for playing your next card. So I
Yeah,
think
but
that feels like card draw to me.
no,
But then
that
you also have Stitch and Goliath to go along with Doc.
the Stitch
Yep.
is nice. The Dock or the Goliath, sorry, is expensive,
Yeah.
and I think the alternative to the Goliath is the Aerial, and then you could
Yeah.
play. Um, you don't have to not play the Rhino, but you could also play the like what is it, Della's Moon Lullabies, and then you draw
Oh
engine
yeah.
from that. But
Yeah.
not to delve a ton into the draw engines of the Amber Steel and why I think they aren't enough to feed this angel. And honestly, I think even Amethyst Steel isn't enough to feed the angel because to me, cards in your hand are almost always more valuable. They are rated more valuable to me than most other resources in the game, other than like second to cards on the board, right?
I don't know.
Cards in
I'm pretty
hand
sure
is
you
better
complained
than.
earlier about having too many cards in your hand and not enough ink to play it.
Yeah, that is true. There are there are certainly these outlier situations, but having cards in hand, especially because if you've built your deck and you feel that all of the cards in your deck are good, right? You're not playing bad cards in your deck, are you? Go check. Go check your deck right now. Do you have any bad cards in it? Okay, good. I didn't think so. Right. So no bad cards in your deck. Then why wouldn't you want all of those good cards in your hand? Right. So more cards
Yep.
in hand, more better.
More cards,
In
more
my
better.
opinion. So it's just the idea of discarding a card out of my hand is high, too costly, too rich for my blood.
But
I don't
Andy,
know.
you know what's not rich is going to partner.tcgplayer.com/ROV, because if you support ROV, you can get this card, this angel card in your mailbox. And it won't cost you any extra, but it'll support the content creators, us that you love, to be able to continue to do this work. And like I said, that's not rich. Doesn't cost you any more money, and it helps us out. So we really appreciate that. And Kirsten, what are your last thoughts about this card?
I need the enchanted. That's about it. I really want the enchanted now because I gotta put it in my deck.
Well, I guess it's a good thing you're not going to California. You can set aside some of that money for this enchanted.
Hey,
Or
all the
more
money
likely-
that I won at Kentucky is going to Disney World.
Or you can continue to buy more packies, because I know.
Or I just spend my regular money on that. Save my winnings for Disney World.
Disney World. Between
All
that
right.
and some of the other cards from other card games that we definitely don't play, but we collect, shall not be named.
Well, you've only been doing that because you've been super lucky at pulling crazy expensive cards.
But between that and some tournament winnings, and we might be able to.
It's gonna be free.
We'll be
Going to Disney
vlogging
World
from
for
the
free!
Polynesian resort. We'll be like, hey guys, this is Andy and Kirsten from Rules of Villainy, and like behind us on our balcony
Not an
is like
Animal
a giraffe,
Kingdom where we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
like a giraffe hanging out with a warthog.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I'll be in the Motel 6 down the street. But anyway, let us know your thoughts on Villain of the Week. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you're joining us on audio, please rate and review us on Apple Pod, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
And if you're joining us on YouTube, which if you're not, you should. We have a lot of fun over here. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, ring that bell so you can be notified of all of our upcoming events. Our weekly meta report from the mayor, deck test Tuesdays, and we've got our live stream from Impact Gaming Center coming up soon. Sure to be notified.
Pro 4th. Book it.
Yep.
10 a.m. We appreciate you spending some time with us. If you would like to follow along as we plot our devious plans, you can find us on all the socials at Rules of Villainy. We also have a growing community on Discord in which you can join with the link below, because I want to see your pet.
Yes. And until next week, stay safe, fellow villains. Be wary of wannabe heroes who want to disrupt your villainous plans. And as always, remember the rules of villainy.
Pirate vids are.